Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes of Israel. Today I'm going to deal with a topic called Will God Punish the Feminist? Would God punish the feminist? Will God punish the feminist? Would God punish the feminist? So it's just a short video on will God punish the feminists. Now, we know lots and lots of feminists these days. These days, most women are feminists, right? They despise men, right? They despise male authority, right? A lot of them, they say things like patriarchy. We need to defeat the patriarchy. We need to, women are suffering all over the world because of patriarchy, and we need to defeat the patriarchy. And these are Christian women, by the way, right? And normally what that means is they hate male authority. They hate male authority. They hate men telling them what to do. And they hate the fact that they are not in control, because they feel that they should be in control and not men. Men shouldn't be over them. They should be on the same level as men, or they should be taking control, right? So let's go to Isaiah 3. And we're going to read 12. For as my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which cause thee they that lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. So let's read 12 again. As for my people, children are their oppressors. So children are our oppressors. That's the children from these women. And women rule over thee. So the women are ruling over us as men. O my people, they which cause thee, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. So it goes into women trying to run the household, trying to run a man, trying to be over a man and lead a man. And it doesn't work, because all it does is it causes you to err. It means commit error and destroy the way of your paths, right? So let's go to Jeremiah 31, reading 22. How long will thou go about, O thy backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. So let's read 22 again. How long will thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. So the Lord has created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. So it was prophesied that a woman will overtake a man in terms of feminism, the feminism that we're going through today, right? So that's a new thing in the earth. It wasn't done before, right? Because men always had the authority in their homes and in society, but now it's all been turned on its head now, and now the women have overtaken the men. They're now on the same level as men, or have overtaken men, right? So let's now go to 2 Esdras 5:8. There shall be confusion in many places, and the fire shall be sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. So let's read it again. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be off sent out again, and wild beasts shall change their places, and menstrual women shall bring forth monsters. So the menstruous women, it just means those women going through their menstruals, right? So that's what it's talking about. It's talking about a woman of a reproductory age, right? And they will bring forth monsters. So monsters goes into children, right? The children that they produce are monsters, because if you cannot have a household whereby the man is supposed to be leading, but he's not leading, he's underneath his woman. You can't have a household like that, right? Because it will destroy the household, right? The order is not being kept. It will destroy it, right? So if the household is destroyed, then eventually the man is going to be emasculated, and he will leave, right? He will leave that marriage, because there's nothing for him being there, right? Because a man cannot stay in a marriage and be emasculated. One way or another, he will show signs that he doesn't want to be there, right? And very often with these types of relationships, the women walk away anyway. The women divorce their husbands and walk away anyway. They're the first people to file for divorce and walk away, right? So when you have a household that is split up, you have all these one night stands and there's no man in the home, and the woman is the only person raising the children in the home, and the men have been run out of the house, all of these things contribute towards creating monsters. So let's read it again. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again. And wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. So that was the prophecy for today. So let's now go to Isaiah 3, reading from 16 to 26. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, haughty goes into being arrogant, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the neck of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts, right? So he's going to punish them by making them bald, and he's going to discover their secret parts. So their parts will be exposed. 18. And in that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their culls and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets, and the ornaments of the legs, the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings, the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses, the fine linen, and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle a rent, and instead of a well set hair baldness, and instead of a stomach a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war, and her gate shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. So this is the punishment that came upon the daughters of Zion, the black woman, right? This is the punishment, right? Because of their haughtiness, right? So let's go to Deuteronomy 28. So they will lose their shape. They would lose all their luxuries. They would lose their man. And they will go into captivity, right? So all these are characteristics of the daughters of Zion. So let's go to Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to read from 54 to 57. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left in him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege, and straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. So it's packed with all the stuff that came upon black people today, right? The children of Israel. So it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. So that's brother to brother killing each other. So that covers the rap music and how toxic it is. It glorifies gun violence, black men killing black men and whoring out your women. And towards the wife of his bosom, so he shall be evil towards the wife of his bosom. He's treating his wife like trash. Instead of leading, he's not leading. He's leading her into hell, right? And towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So even his children, he's going to leave. So that goes into the Israelite man that has a child here, child there, child everywhere, right? He's a serial baby father. 55, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left in him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates. So this was a real life incident, and this was when, I believe it was when the Romans invaded Jerusalem, right? So that's a real life event, but this is a sign that would be upon Israel, where you take your children, where you your love for your children only lasts up to a point, right? 54. The tender and delicate women among you which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, for her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards the son, and towards her daughter. So she has an evil eye towards her husband. So that covers the black men and black women not getting on. That covers that. Let's read it again. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards her husband. So her eyes shall be evil towards her husband of her bosom, and towards the son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out of between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear. For she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates. So again, it's the same thing. She's not going to take her... She loves her children, but she doesn't really... So I suppose that's symbolic of her not really taking care of her children properly. Right? Because if she did want to take care of her children properly, she would strive to keep the household together, to do her job, her role as a woman, which is to be under a man, to be submissive to a man, to keep that household together. So her love for her children doesn't really go past for her love for herself. So that's what all that means. It's symbolic of the love. A man's love for himself, the narcissist, because we live in a very narcissistic culture, a narcissistic society where everything is me, 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 me. What about me, right? Whereby the man, he sees his own life more important than his child, right? He sees what his desires, I should say, more important than the well-being of his children. And it's the same way the other way around. The woman sees what her narcissistic desires is more important than the well-being of her children. But the important thing to take from that is that hatred towards a brother to a brother, and a brother to a sister, and a sister to a brother, right? So that covers men and women, black men and black women not getting on, right? So let's now go to Numbers 12. Let's go to Numbers 12. So we're still dealing with the topic, will God punish the feminists? Yes, he will. Yes, he will punish the feminists, right? He will punish the feminists. So let's read Numbers 12. So we're reading pretty much the whole chapter. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, Hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very weak above all men which were upon the face of the earth. So Moses was a very meek man, very humble. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, Come out, you three, unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And the three came out. And the Lord came down in a pillar of the cloud and stood in the front door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the danger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. So she turned white. And Miriam said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he coming out of his mother's womb. So she became an albino. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, Heal her now, O God, beseech thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. Right? So the Lord punished Miriam, but he didn't punish Aaron. And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people removed from Hazeroth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran. Right, so the important thing to take from that was that the Lord was very angry towards Aaron and Miriam for speaking against Moses, who he loved, right? And he punished Miriam, but he didn't punish Aaron, because Miriam was not supposed to see herself as being on this, because she was a prophetess, but she was not supposed to see herself on the same level as all the other men, right? She was not supposed to do that, right? So the Most High punished her for her wickedness, right? So she got punished, but Aaron didn't, because she was supposed to stay in her place, right? So that just proves that the Lord will punish a feminist. Now, Miriam was not like a modern day feminist. A modern day feminist is an absolute, complete, not a pointless waste of time, because she cannot function as a woman. She overtalks men, she's angry, she's bitter, she doesn't do what a man says, she argues with men. That's the modern day black female. She argues with men, she doesn't get on with a black man, she disrespects us, and she does all manner of evil things. She takes our children from us, she doesn't really care about the children's well-being. The fact that the children don't have a father in the home anymore, she doesn't really care. Right? So that's what we are going through as men today, right? So yes, a female will get punished, absolutely. So let's go to Isaiah 13 and let's verify whether that's going to happen. So we read in Isaiah 13 and we're reading from 11 to 13. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, in the day of his fierce anger. So that is the end of the world. So that will be the day when Christ returns, right? So let's push up to 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I would lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So the haughtiness, who was haughty? The haughty in the Bible, where it says haughty, if you go to Isaiah, let's quickly go there. You go to Isaiah 3 and we read 16. It says, moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. So there we go. So that's the precept to go with that. And walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. So let's go back. Let's read it. Let's read Isaiah 13:11 again. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I would lay low the haughtiness. So that goes into evil doers really, but it also goes into the daughters of Zion, of the terrible. And I will make a man more precious than gold. So now we know he's specifically talking about the daughters of Zion, because he says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden edge of Ophir. So that's a very special type of gold, which is not very common. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. So this is talking about at the end of the world. He's going to make a man more precious than gold, and he will punish the haughty. He will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and he will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I would lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So that means that she will be punished. The feminists will definitely 100% be punished. So let's now go to Proverbs 21. Proverbs 21, and we're reading 4. An high look and a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked is sin. So a high look and a proud heart is the plowing of the wicked is sin. So that goes into being high-minded, right? That goes into being high-minded. So that is sinful. So let's read Proverbs 16, 18. Proverbs 16, 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So pride goeth before destruction. So pride is when you disobedient to the Most High. You think that you're all that and more. You think you're a God in your own head. That's pride. Pride goeth destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Right? Haughty goes into being wicked. It goes into being arrogant. Right? So you have an arrogant spirit before a fall. So with pride comes arrogance. right? And it says that you will fall eventually. So when you're like that, you will fall. Let's read Psalms 138, 6. 138, 6. Though the Lord be high, yet heart he respect unto the lowly, but the proud he knoweth afar off. So let's read 6 again. Though the Lord be high, yet heart he respect unto the lowly. So though he be high, yet heart he respect unto the lowly in spirit, but the proud he knoweth afar off, right? So with the proud people, haughty people, the people that think they're all that and more, like the women that think, oh, I'm above you, man, I'm supposed to be above you. Oh, patriarchy, we need to destroy the patriarchy. Those feminists, you're going to be destroyed. And because of your attitude, you are far away from God, because you have pride in you. You have real pride in you. And the Bible says destruction comes before a fall, something like that, right? Let's read the scripture again. Psalms 38, 6. So reading Psalms 38, 6. Though the Lord be high, yet heart he respect unto the lowly. So he respects people of a low mind, right? When it says low mind, it just means lowly in spirit. It means that you're not high-minded. You're not arrogant. You're not pompous. You're not a narcissistic person. You're not prideful. You know, you're playing within the boundaries of the Bible. You're playing within your role, right? You're not trying to go outside to compete with a man. You're not going to oppress a man, to be over a man, because you know that you're not supposed to be over a man. A man is supposed to be over you. You're supposed to be submissive to a man, right? So let's read it again. Though the Lord be high, the Lord is high. He's high up in the sky. Yet in the third heaven, yet heart he respect unto the lowly. He respects those that are humble, because the Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth. But the proud he knoweth far off. He doesn't know the proud. If you're a proud person, you don't want to listen to a man, he doesn't have any respect for you. He casts you, he hems you down and casts you away, right? Can't use you. He cannot use you. So, will God punish a feminist? Yes, he will. He will definitely 100% punish a feminist. Because feminism is about usurping the authority of men. And women were never given the commandments to do that. They were never given the commandments to do that. And therefore, they do it because of pride. And because of their pride, they do it. And that pride is ungodly, because the Lord says that those people that are high-minded, they have pride, and he doesn't deal with them. He casts them off. Brothers and sisters, I hope you are edified. Shalom.